Hello everyone, in this video we're going to draw a hippopotamus. Start by drawing a circle as a guide for the front part of the body. To draw the circle, first make two small marks to indicate the circle's length, and then on the sides make two more small marks to indicate the circle's width. Then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Sketch lightly at first so that it's easy to erase if you make a mistake. Also, pause the video to draw at your own pace. The circle doesn't have to be perfect, but if you're having trouble drawing it, just trace the outer edge of a cup, a lid, or anything else with a circular edge. To the left, draw another circle as a guide for the back portion of the body. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle too. First make 4 small marks to indicate the sides of the circle, and then connect the marks using curved lines to finish the shape of the circle. Draw the 2 circles roughly the same size. Don't place the circles too far apart or the body will be too long. On the bottom right side, draw a smaller circle as a guide for the head. Use the 4 marks method to draw this circle as well. The head circle should be about half the size of the first circle. Pay attention to the placement of the head circle in relation to the first circle. On the bottom right side of the head circle, make a small mark for the first part of the guide for the muzzle. Now connect the mark to the head using curved lines to finish the guide for the muzzle. This guide should be similar to the letter U. Under the first circle, draw a short angled line as a guide for the front leg. Bend the middle of the line to indicate the joint. At the bottom, bend the line to the right to indicate the foot. Hippos have short legs, so don't draw this line too long. To the right, draw another short angled line as a guide for the other front leg. Under the circle on the left, draw another short angled line as a guide for the hind leg. Bend this line to indicate the joint and the foot. Connect the head to the body using curved lines to create the guide for the neck. Make the shape of the neck wide. The bottom line should be shorter than the top line. Connect the big circles using 2 more lines to finish the guide for the body. Curve the bottom line for the belly. And that's it for the guidelines. Now let's start on the final drawing. Inside the head, near the right edge, lightly sketch a small circle for the eye. Place the eye close to the top edge of the muzzle. Pay attention to how small the eye is in relation to the head. When you get the shape of the eye right, darken the lines. Make the sides of the shape pointier for the corners of the eye. Inside the eye, near the top, draw a tiny circle for a highlight. In the middle of the eye, draw another small circle and shade it in for the pupil. Don't overlap the highlight circle as you draw the pupil. Now shade the rest of the eye. Use a value that's lighter than the pupil to shade the eye. Now draw a series of curved lines around the eye for wrinkles. Keep these lines close to the shape of the eye. Draw more wrinkles under the shape of the eye. Higher above the eye, draw a longer curved line for the brow. Draw this line along the edge of the head circle. Above that, draw a shorter curved line for the other side of the brow. Near the tip of the muzzle, draw a small curved shape for the nostril. The nostril should be thin and pointy at the top and curved at the bottom. Above the nostril, draw a curved line for the top part of the nose. Connect the nose to the brow using a sloping line to create the top part of the muzzle. Follow the path of the guide as you draw this line. Darken the bottom of the guide to create the front part of the muzzle. Now curve the line inside the shape for the mouth. The top part of the line for the mouth should be very close to the eye. Pay attention to how the mouth curves inside the head. Darken the bottom part of the guide to create the lower jaw. On top of the head, lightly sketch a small arc for the ear. The ear should be close to the eye. When you get the size and position of the ear right, darken the line. The bottom of the ear should be thin. Add a few curved lines along the bottom of the shape for the base of the ear. Inside the shape, draw a couple of curved lines for the ear's opening. Use the other shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the head. Darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the head. At the top, draw a line that curves into the shape of the neck for a crease in the skin. At the bottom, draw a couple of curved lines along the path of the circle for the jaw. On the left side, curve the line inside the shape for a crease on the neck. Draw a few small lines inside the head for wrinkles. On top of the head, draw a short curved line for the other ear. Use the second line from the right that's under the body as a guide to draw the first front leg. Lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the top part of the leg wide and make the bottom a bit thinner. On the bottom right side, draw a couple of short angled lines for the toes. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Curve the sides of the leg to make the shape chubbier. Make the tips of the toes pointy. Only 3 of the 4 toes will be visible from this angle. Follow the path of the guide as you draw the shape of the leg. Use the line on the right as a guide to draw the other front leg the same way. First, lightly sketch the shape of the leg around the guideline. Make the top part of the leg slightly wider than the bottom. Curve the bottom part of the shape to the right to create the foot and toes. When you get the shape of the leg right, darken the lines. Draw a few short angled lines on the tip of the foot for the toes. Use the angled line on the far left side as a guide to draw the hind leg. Just like with the front legs, first lightly sketch the shape of the hind leg around the guideline. When you get the shape right, darken the lines. Use curved lines for a chubby shape. At the bottom, angle the shape to the right for the foot and toes. Draw a few small angled lines on the tip of the foot to separate the toes. To the right, draw a similar shape for the other hind leg. Use the first hind leg as a template to draw this leg. The left side of this leg will be hidden behind the first hind leg. Now use the remaining shapes and lines as guides to draw the rest of the body. Simply darken the outer edges of the guides to create the shape of the body. At the top, draw a few short lines that curve inside the body for the creases on the skin. Make the top part of the body curve down slightly lower than the initial guideline. On the left side, connect the body to the top part of the hind leg. The short tail isn't visible from this angle. Darken the bottom edge for the big round belly. On the right side, draw a series of vertical lines between the front leg and the head for the creases on the neck. Extend the lines for the creases far into the neck. Now erase the initial guidelines. The next few steps are sped up so that the video isn't too long. Don't worry about erasing all of the guidelines, it's okay if you leave some behind. Redraw any of the final lines that you may have accidentally erased. Now shade your drawing. Hippos don't have any pattern on their skin, so just use a medium value all over the body. Shade lightly at first and gradually build up to darker values. For light values, push down very lightly on your pencil, then push down harder for darker values. Use a very light value near the top of the body for a shiny highlight on the skin. Add a darker value throughout the body to create some shadows. Shadows will give the figure more dimension and volume. Pick a light source as you shade so that the shadows are consistent throughout the body. Here the light source is coming from the top, so most of the shadows will be on the underside of the shapes. Don't worry about shading too smoothly, a rough value will give the skin some texture. Shading can be time-consuming, so be patient and take breaks. It's a good idea to use reference as you shade for a more accurate depiction of a hippo. Draw a shadow at the bottom using a medium value. Keep shading until you're happy with the result. And that's it for the hippo. Don't forget to pause the video to draw at your own pace. Also, please visit howtodrawanimals.com where every step of this tutorial is broken down into an individual image. That's how, and then the number 2, then drawanimals.com. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. Also subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep drawing.